What if your partner doesn't really value you? They might be with you now, but there's a chance they could leave you as soon as they can. It sounds wild, but here's the deal. Understanding your value is more than just feeling nice. It changes how people see and treat you in your love life. It's like a hidden power we all have, but often ignore. And I'm not just talking about those usual tips you always hear. I'm talking about real, deep stuff, like learning from Stoicism. Yes, that old philosophy. It's not about hiding feelings or toughing it out. It's about knowing what's really important, especially in love. So, make yourself comfortable and let's have a real chat. I'll show you how to use some ancient wisdom to find out how much you're really worth in love. And this is no ordinary advice. It's about making you stronger in ways you might not expect. Ready to start? Let's explore how to make your love life better and more powerful. This is going to change everything. 1. Understand your value. You might think, oh, here comes another self-love talk. But this is different. It's not about the usual, you're great routine. So, how does Stoicism help us see our value in relationships? A lot, actually. Stoics teach us to focus on what's in our power and your self-worth. That's all you. It's not about social media likes or dating app matches. It's about how you see and value yourself. Picture yourself as a precious gem. Not everyone recognizes a rare gem's value, but if they overlook it, the gem remains precious. That's like you. Your value doesn't drop because someone doesn't see it. We all face rejection or feel inadequate at times, especially with social media showing only the best moments. But, stoically speaking, your worth isn't about others' likes. It's about your life, your goodness, your deeds. Are you kind, honest, proud of how you live? Your real worth is there. Stoics emphasize looking inward. Think about what truly defines you. Are you caring, strong, a good listener? Those traits define your value. Knowing this can change how you act in relationships. You don't put up with bad treatment, not from ego, but from self-respect. Try this Stoic tip. When feeling low, list your good qualities instead of doubting yourself. This isn't bragging, it's reminding yourself of your worth without needing others' approval. As Marcus Aurelius said, you control your mind, not outside events. Know this for strength. In love, it means valuing yourself regardless of others' views. Remember, recognizing your worth is ongoing, something to work on and affirm daily. You're valuable because of who you are, not what others think. 2. Be proud of who you are. Think of being serious and respectful, but not in a way where you're always serious and never smiling. Being serious in this way means knowing what's worth your time and what's not. And yes, the way you show yourself to others is definitely worth your time. Let's talk about how to show your best self in relationships without losing who you are. Ever tried too hard to make someone like you, changing the way you dress or talk? Well, being impressive isn't about that. It's about how you act, the choices you make. Imagine two people on a date at a cafe. One is trying too hard to be noticed, and the other is just being themselves, calm and confident. Who do you think makes a better impression? The one who's real, for sure. This is what it means to be proud of who you are. Stoics believed in living honestly and respecting yourself. In today's dating scene, this means just being yourself. If you love reading, show it. If you're excited about something, let it be known. It's all about being comfortable and confident in who you are, knowing you're good enough as you are. Take care of how you treat yourself. The way you see and treat yourself shows others how they can treat you. If you're always hard on yourself, you're basically inviting others to do the same. But when you show yourself respect and value your own time and feelings, you're clearly telling everyone that you deserve respect. This idea comes from a wise guy named Epictetus, who believed that what really matters is not what happens to you, but how you deal with it. In relationships, it's not just about your looks or words, but how you react in various situations. Do you act out of desperation or with self-respect? Do you bend your own rules to fit in, or do you stand by them, even if it means being alone? Remember, it's okay to mess up or have awkward times. We're all human. What's important is how you handle these times. Can you keep your cool and learn from these experiences? Think about ways to show yourself more respect. Maybe it's about making clear what you're okay with and what you're not. Or perhaps it's learning to turn down things that don't match your principles. Or it could be as easy as being nicer and more respectful to yourself. By doing this, you start to view yourself as someone who deserves respect, and soon others will see it too. 3. Set boundaries. This might sound a bit old-fashioned or strict, but please listen. It's not about being distant. It's about respecting yourself and knowing your worth. What does Stoicism teach us? It teaches us to be disciplined and in control, but not in a way that takes away joy. It means knowing what's really important and not just giving it away without thought. In today's world, where everything is instant and we can easily move on to the next thing, taking a moment to pause is refreshing. Think about it. In dating or relationships, we often rush to share our lives, our thoughts, and our space. But Stoics suggest we slow down. Why? Because when something is always available, it tends to lose its value. That's just how people are. If you're always ready to say yes and never hold back, what's left to be curious about, to look forward to? So, how do you set boundaries in a wise and stoic way? It starts with how you carry yourself. Dressing nicely but simply is more than just style. It's making a statement about self-respect. It's not about hiding or showing off too much. It's about showing there's more to you. Then, consider how you spend your time. In our always-on world, choosing who you give your time to is important. It's not about games, it's about valuing your time and choosing how to use it carefully. When you're with someone, be fully there. But it's also okay to be busy with your own things when you're not. Stoicism teaches us to keep our emotions in check. This doesn't mean being emotionless. Instead, it's about not letting every small thing get to you. Keep your cool. Your emotional energy and time are precious and should be given to those who deserve it. I'm not saying be unfeeling. Connections are key to life. However, there's value in taking your time, in creating deeper bonds, not based on quick satisfaction. Limiting access to yourself is about self-respect and staying true to your values. This approach shows you're someone who respects themselves and should be respected by others. So, let's be more selective, steadier, more stoic in our relationships. It's about finding the right balance between openness and caution, between sharing and keeping some things to yourself. And believe me, this balance changes how people see and treat you. Here's to respecting ourselves and adopting a bit of the Stoic way in today's dating scene. 4. Act on your boundaries, not just talk about them. Stoicism teaches the value of actions over words. The idea is simple. It's more impactful to demonstrate your limits through what you do, rather than just talking about them. Consider this. Anyone can say they won't stand for poor treatment, but the real test is in how you handle such situations when they arise. Do you stick to your standards, or do you compromise? Your actions define your boundaries, not your promises. This isn't always easy, especially when feelings are involved. But Stoicism reminds us we have the power to choose our responses. If someone disrespects a boundary, how you react shows what you truly stand for. For example, if honesty is important to you and someone lies, the way you address it, either by walking away or discussing it calmly, proves your commitment to your principles. It's not about drama, but about having enough self-respect to act in line with your beliefs. This way of handling things can change how you're seen in relationships. When people notice you're serious about your boundaries, they learn what you accept and what you don't. It's a practice of self-respect. And Stoicism comes into play not just with big issues, but also with daily, smaller ones. How do you react to someone cancelling on you last minute or taking your efforts for granted? Do you ignore it, or do you calmly show that it's not okay? This is where being mindful and present matters. Are your actions reflecting your boundaries? Are you being true to yourself? It's crucial to pay attention to these moments, as they often are the real tests of your limits. Let's bring a bit more stoicism into our daily interactions by showing our boundaries through our actions. It's not about being stiff or unyielding. It's about guiding your responses with your personal values. And when you live like this, people notice. They see you as someone who not only has boundaries, but respects themselves enough to uphold them. 5. Be prepared to leave. Stoicism introduces us to the idea of letting go, not with indifference, but with the understanding of our limits of control. One of the most powerful choices we have is deciding whether to stay in or leave a bad situation. This becomes particularly real in relationships. We've all faced moments where we know deep down, this isn't right for me, yet we stay. It might be due to fear of loneliness, fear of change, or hope for improvement. However, the Stoic wisdom here is realizing the control we have to choose not to settle for less than we deserve. It's not about quitting at the first difficulty. Relationships need effort, compromise, and patience. But it's crucial to recognize when a situation goes against your core values and have the courage to leave. Being prepared to walk away comes from self-respect. It means not sacrificing your fundamental beliefs and self-worth. Exiting doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be a quiet acknowledgement that it's time to move on. It's scary, yes. The fear of the unknown is real. But Stoicism teaches us to face challenges bravely and to see the unknown as just another part of life. Sometimes the bravest act is to let go of what's not meant for you. This mindset is transformative in relationships. It means you're there by choice, aligned with your values, not out of fear or dependency. This changes how you engage in a relationship. You're there because you want to be, not because you're scared to leave. And when you dare to leave what doesn't serve you, you open the door to what does. It's about making space for something better, trusting there's more out there for you, and giving yourself a chance to find it. As we reflect on this, let's understand that being ready to walk away is not about being unemotional. It's about valuing and respecting ourselves enough to seek what's truly deserving. It's about standing strong in difficult times, knowing our worth is independent of others. 6. Prioritize deeds over promises. Stoicism emphasizes practical wisdom, advising us to assess people by their actions rather than their words. Our world is filled with persuasive language and unfulfilled promises, especially in relationships. Stoics encourage us to see beyond mere words and evaluate actions, as they reveal the true intentions and character of a person. It's common to encounter people who speak beautifully and make grand promises, creating an enticing vision of the future. However, the crucial question is whether they act in accordance with their words. This is the real test. We've all experienced situations where someone's actions fell short of their words. They promise to call but don't. They plan and then cancel. Despite this, their words might keep us hopeful. This is when we need to embrace our inner stoic, focusing on rationality and reality over emotions and promises. Inconsistencies between words and actions are clear indicators to reassess the situation. Adopting this perspective transforms how we approach relationships. Instead of being captivated by charming promises, we start observing the smaller, significant behaviors. How someone behaves under pressure, their reliability, and their presence in meaningful ways become our focus. Focusing on actions sets a clear expectation. It signals that it's not enough to talk a good game. One must demonstrate their intentions and worth through actions. This isn't about skepticism or mistrust, but about applying stoic wisdom to safeguard our emotions and remain anchored in reality. Let's remind ourselves to value actions over words, adopting a stoic approach to love, rational, observant, and discerning. Ultimately, actions speak louder than words, and it's by observing these actions that we can make wiser decisions in our relationships. 7. Embrace cautious curiosity. Skepticism and stoicism complement each other well. Stoics aim to see the world as it truly is, rather than through the lens of wishful thinking. This approach is incredibly useful in love and dating. We've likely all experienced moments when someone's words seemed perfect, and we were so eager to believe them that we ignored the warning signs. However, adopting a bit of skepticism can serve as a protective measure. It's not about being negative or distrustful, but about staying realistic and not accepting everything at face value. Imagine you meet someone who seems fantastic, making grand plans early on. A stoic skeptic would advise you to pause and observe if their actions align with their promises over time. Embracing cautious curiosity means not rushing to judgment or being overly critical, but engaging in mindful observation and patience. It involves carefully listening and watching someone's actions, taking time to genuinely understand their character and sincerity. Stoicism teaches us to lean on logic and reason in our relationships, keeping our emotions from leading us astray. By integrating skepticism with our feelings, we allow ourselves to see situations more clearly, protecting our hearts in the process. It means not rushing into a relationship without being certain, giving us the opportunity to see who the other person truly is, beyond our initial hopes or desires. As we think this over breakfast, let's value the importance of stoic skepticism. It's about being wise, observant, and not easily swept away. It's not about closing off, but rather about cautiously and wisely deciding which doors to open, safeguarding our well-being and emotions. 8. Saying no is powerful. In Stoicism, being true to yourself and having the bravery to stick to your beliefs is really important. This is especially true when it comes to saying no in relationships. It's all about understanding what's important to you and not being scared to maintain your standards, even if it might cause some tension. Imagine this: you're seeing someone and they suggest something that feels wrong to you. It could be rushing things or something that goes against what you believe. The simplest thing to do would be to just agree, right? But this is when you need to listen to your inner strength. Saying no at times like these is how you show respect for yourself, your beliefs, and your limits. I know it's not easy. It can be really tough, especially if you really like the person. There's always that worry, what if this pushes them away? But here's where we need to be bold. Stoicism teaches us about being brave, not just with challenges from the outside, but with our own inner battles too. Saying no means you have self-respect. It means you value yourself too much to accept anything less than you deserve. Yes, it's risky. You might lose them. But think about it. If saying no to something that's not right for you ends up pushing someone away, perhaps they weren't the right match for you anyway. This can really change how a relationship works. When someone sees you're not afraid to say no, that you're not just trying to make them happy at the cost of your own values, they start to see you differently. It shows you're someone who respects themselves, someone who knows their worth. And that's appealing. There's another important point here. Saying no isn't just about setting limits with others. It's also about being honest with yourself. It means recognizing what you really want and need from a relationship and not settling for less. It's about not letting the fear of being alone make you choose things that aren't right for you. So, as we think over our breakfast, let's remember it's fine to say no. In fact, it's essential. It's part of being true to ourselves, living with honesty, just as the Stoics advised. It's about forming relationships that are based on real respect and true connection, not on fear and settling for less. 9. Don't run after anyone. This perfectly matches what we've been talking about, especially from a Stoic point of view. Stoicism puts a lot of importance on focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. This idea is really powerful in relationships. It means realizing that trying to keep someone who's starting to drift away is pointless and doesn't respect our own value. Imagine you're dating someone and everything's going great, but suddenly they begin to distance themselves. We've all felt the urge to try and fix it, to pull them back. But Stoicism tells us to stop and think, what's really in our control? Your answer should be your pride, your self-esteem, and your inner peace. Running after someone who's moving away from you is like trying to catch air with your hands. It doesn't work and leaves you feeling worse. The Stoic way is to remember your worth. If someone is stepping back, let them go. It's not about being indifferent. It's about understanding that you can't make someone feel or act a certain way, but you can choose how you react. This is tough. It requires a lot of courage to not give in to the temptation to chase, but it's about believing that the right person will want to stay by your side. It's about knowing you're valuable, and if they can't see that, someone else will. Adopting this mindset shifts everything. It brings the control back to you. You're not just reacting to others anymore. You're making your own choices, managing your own feelings. It's empowering and freeing. And here's what happens. When you focus on yourself, your growth, and your own life, you start to attract people who admire that strength, confidence, and self-worth. You're essentially showing the world, I value myself highly, and I know my worth. So, as we finish our breakfast, let's really understand this. We don't need to chase after anyone. Let's adopt a Stoic way in our relationships, stay grounded, respect ourselves, and concentrate on what's in our power. It's about finding our own inner peace, not seeking approval from others. As we end our conversation today, keep one thing in mind. Your self-worth is a crucial part of your life's fabric. Like the Stoics, you have the choice in how you respond to what happens around you. You're in charge of your dignity and self-respect. Own that power. Let your actions, decisions, and limits reflect the amazing person you are. If you ever doubt yourself, think back to our talk and the Stoic wisdom we've shared. Life isn't just about going through the motions, it's about growing stronger and wiser with each step. 10. Choose wisely who you open up to. Similar to how you decide where to put your money or trust. It's not about shutting people out, but about carefully picking those who genuinely respect and see the value in what you share. Imagine your deepest thoughts and feelings are like pages in a personal diary. You wouldn't want just anybody flipping through them, would you? Your experiences, your innermost thoughts, and your emotions are precious. They are a treasure of who you are. So, it makes sense to only share this treasure with people who recognize and treasure its value, who won't just toss it aside. When you do this, you're not just sharing, you're inviting someone into a deeper, more meaningful part of your life. This selective sharing leads to stronger, richer connections with those around you. It's about finding those special few who get it, who get you, and with whom you can be your true self without fear of judgment. This process of selective sharing helps in weaving a stronger fabric of relationships, ones that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine care. By doing so, you ensure that your weaknesses are not taken for granted, but are cherished and respected. In turn, this develops a safe space for mutual growth and deep connection, making every shared moment and every trust placed a step towards a more fulfilling relationship with the people who really matter in your life. 11. Practice gratitude for your own journey. Instead of comparing your relationship status or happiness with others, focus on being thankful for your own path. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate what we have, including our solo experiences and growth. Every day, try to think of a few things about your single life or your personal growth that you're grateful for. This shifts your focus from what you lack to the abundance you already possess, fostering a sense of contentment and self-sufficiency. Remember, happiness starts from within, not from having someone else by your side. Thanks for watching till the end. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Your support means a lot to us. As always, until next time.